If you want to open up massive holes in the run game, then you might want to consider adding this motion. We're talking about what's commonly called escort motion, but reportedly the Rams call it blast, so that's what I'm going to be calling it from here on out. Now, to my knowledge, the 49ers are the team that really introduced this concept to the NFL, and it has permeated the rest of the Shanahan tree in the last offseason. In this video, we're going to take a look at the base run concepts that can be run with blast motion and talk about how you can add them to your offense. At the end, we've got a little bonus, so make sure you stick around. You don't want to miss it. So starting with what we call counter solid, I don't know if that's what they call this in the Shanahan tree, so that's just what I'm calling it for now, kind of a placeholder name until I can figure that out. But what we're talking about with counter solid is the offensive line is completely blocking down. We've got the blast motion coming in from the tight end is going to come and kick out the play side edge defender, the same guy we would kick out if it was normal counter, and then the fullback is going to wrap to the inside linebacker just like he does on counter. And the rest of the offensive line is just blocking down. We're going to have the left tackle and the left guard here taking the 1 to the Mike linebacker, number 55. Going to have the right guard and the center taking the 3 back to the rolled down strong safety, and then the backside tackle is responsible for the backside edge defender. So we've got 7 blockers for 7 defenders. All right, let's take a look. Blast motion kicks out the edge defender there. Use check gets that inside linebacker, squares him up, and McCaffrey does the rest. Great concept. All right, looking at some duo here from tight bunch from the Rams. Now we're going to use the blast motion again to kick out that play side defender, but we're going to get a cutback from the running back. We'll look at it up front. So again, this is duo, and I really like the use of blast motion here to get to duo because traditionally, especially the Rams, huge tendency for them is running duo to the strong side from a tight bunch. And if you haven't watched that video, I'll link it up here. Make sure you go watch it. We talk about how they run it from tight bunch there. But now we're going to run it away from the bunch using blast motion. So we're going to take the tight end who's already off the ball. He's going to come in motion and kick out that play side defender. And then it's just duo for everybody else. We're all blocking down. Then the receivers backside are cutting off the DBs. Then we've got a wide receiver on the play side who's going to come scoop out the safety. So traditionally, this is the running lane that the running back would hit on duo, but the blast motion doesn't get all the way inside of that edge defender. Also, we've got 2 receivers over here, our tight end. Jefferson over here was the X, so he's doing a good job coming and scooping out this safety. We do have a corner just right off screen right here. Now, I want to get a running back on a corner, but we're going to continue talking about this play and see where a little bit of this magic with blast motion happens. Up front, we have really traded bodies for bodies. And then we've got Puka Nacua blocking down on the nickel right here. And then Tutu Atwell is going to pick up Bobby Wagner, who's scraping over once Akers bounces it out the back door. And that's what I think is great about the blast motion usage here is we have those 2 tight receivers backside, and they're able to cut this off. So it almost opens up a new lane for duo. Normally with duo that we've talked about in another video, you have the option to cram it up in the middle, or you can bounce it out to the front side. You don't traditionally have the option to bounce it out the back door, but because we have these extra receivers tight backside that we didn't need to open up the front side hole, you're going to have that option. So I think that's a great usage of blast motion here. All right, so our first 2 examples of blast motion have been on the play side, or what was designed to be the play side on the last play. Here, we're going to take a look at blast motion into a sift block on the backside of inside zone. So this is going to do 2 things for us here. The blast motion is going to freeze these inside linebackers, and that's going to make getting to the second level easier for our offensive linemen because they're just stagnant. They're standing in place. And then it's going to break that tendency of running towards the blast motion that we see so often throughout the league the last few weeks. And we're going to run away from the motion. So normally we're going to see this blast motion and think that's the side that the run is going to. And as we saw in the first clip, you can run same side stuff to it, same side counter and things of that nature. But this is inside zone. This is not duo. Again, if you want to know the difference between the 2, go back and check out my video on that. But this is inside zone to the right, and we've just got blast motion into a sift block. Again, those linebackers froze, making it easier for the lineman to get up to the second level, and the running back does the rest. Back to talking about the front side blast motion, and this is one of my favorite adaptations for it. It doesn't get a huge gain right here, but we're on the goal line. They're trying to stuff the run. This is blast motion power. Now, normally, I'm not a huge fan of power because you get a smaller guy blocking traditionally a bigger guy on the edge with a fullback blocking an edge defender. So traditionally, I prefer counter. However, with the head start we can get from a fullback or from a tight end body, I think that momentum might be able to carry and get a more effective block on the edge defender right here. And then we get to have the bigger body on the smaller body with our backside guard pulling for the other team's play side linebacker. So I'm really excited to see where this concept can evolve running blast power. So up front, it's just traditional power. We've got a deuce on the play side 3 to the backside linebacker, center blocking back on the 1, tackle hinging out on the 5, and then we got it from double tight here, so our backside tight end is going to handle the edge defender. Doesn't get a ton up front. Play side tackle doesn't do a great job getting to the backside linebacker, but again, we're on the goal line. They're trying to stuff the run. Really excited where blast power can go. All right, here we're going to see blast motion away from a gap scheme. Normally, we have seen the blast motion into the kick-out block on a gap scheme play, whether it's duo or power. Here, we're going to get the blast motion away, and we're running trap where the blast motion came from. So this kind of crisscross action is really going to freeze the linebackers, and then you get to add to that tendency of running away from the motion. So here we've got long trap with blast Y sift. Really like how this concept lines up. The backside tackle messes up here. Earlier in this game, when we had the first string left tackle in, he got up to the backside linebacker, so that's how this play is supposed to be run. This backup left tackle actually blocks out on number 91 as well, so 55 kind of comes unblocked. Guard here doesn't get a great kick out on his long trap block, lets that defender get inside, but if he is kicked out, and then if the tackle gets up to number 55, this guy's blocked. We've got both of these guys blocked here. Got the next linebacker coming to get blocked. This is going to be a huge play. I expect to see the Rams running quite a bit more of this. Now, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate it if you would like it, give it a thumbs up. What that's going to do is it's going to tell YouTube that you think that other coaches need to be watching this video. And if you've watched a couple of my videos and enjoyed all of them, I'd greatly appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel. It was just 3 weeks ago that we hit our first 100 subscribers after about 2 months of posting. And in that time, we are so close to 250 already. The growth has been incredible. I am so thankful for all you do. I've had the alerts on my phone, so I see every like, every comment, every subscription, and I wanted to let you know how greatly appreciative I am of it. Let's get back into the video. All right, 2 more clips for the run, and we're talking about Zelda in this clip and Zorro in the next one, and these are 2 of my absolute favorite adaptations to use blast motion for on an outside zone run. So what Zorro and Zelda are is the offense's play side and man on the line of scrimmage, and traditionally the fullback are going to combo the defense's edge defender to the support player. And that doesn't seem too complicated, but normally it's going to happen from a fullback in the backfield. And what's going to happen is because this offensive lineman here on Zelda knows he has the help from somebody coming backside, he's going to be able to get really wide, and then that fullback is going to come in and clear it up and climb to the next level. However, on this play, the support defender is number 27. He's already down. So what's going to happen is the tackle is going to go all the way out to number 27, leaving number 53 unblocked. This is our blast motion player. He's the one who is supposed to come clean up the inside. Since the D end pinches, he's going to pin him in on the Zelda block. Now for everybody else, they're just running regular wide zone. Guard's going to go cut off the linebacker, and then backside is cutting off the defensive lineman to the backside linebacker. We're trying to build that wall and stretch the defense horizontally. So we can see immediately the tackle knows he's got to get to number 27, and then our guy in blast motion there comes to take up the inside half of the combo there, and we get a huge run from getting that pinned in, bouncing to the outside. We'll get a little bit better of an idea of how it works in this clip, or how it's supposed to work whenever the support defender's back. But we get a huge run off of Zorro here. Again, the only difference between Zelda and Zorro is Zorro is a strong side run where it's the tight end and the F in combination, and Zelda is a weak side run where it's the weak side tackle and the F. So we've got Zorro here, and this is actually Zorro Cat, which means instead of taking the edge defender to the support player, they're going to take him back to the corner, and the receiver is going to go block the support player. And what that does is it really allows this combo to get very horizontal, and then it lets the tackle focus on pinning everything in, and we get a huge hole in the C gap. But you can get a really good feel for how it's going to work. We've got the blast motion coming in. He gets a running start to knock that edge defender over to clearly define the running lane for the running back. Then the tackle, like I said, he's just focused on pinning that play side inside linebacker in. We've got our blast motion knocking this guy over here. The F that came in blast motion is going to go block the corner. Wide receiver that was on the play side is going to block the safety, and it does not get a better running lane than this in the National Football League. All right, bonus time. We're talking about play action off of blast motion. So in all those clips, and most of the time that you get that blast motion, it's a run play. Great way to break that tendency is to run a play action pass. Here we're going to get a fake F blast 16 power. So we're faking power, and then we're going to run the keeper shallow concept. Be sure to check out my video on the bootleg passes in the Shanahan offense, but we're going to get a shallow cross from the tight end, going to get a low cross from the backside number one receiver, and then we're going to get the high corner from the boot side wide receiver right here. Again, we've got our tight end here in blast motion. He's going to go protect the play side. Everybody else is just running power up front. The blast motion, again, high tendency to run the ball. You can see these linebackers really get sucked in on the play side right there. They're sliding over, changing their gaps in the run game because of the motion. Just now they realize it's not a motion. Too late. Receiver is already behind them. Going to be a huge gain for the Packers right here off of play action blast motion. One more play here. Again, we're going to get play action. This time it's off of counter solid motion. Last concept, we saw a keeper. This time it's a true play pass where it's more of a drop back than a bootleg. And I really like this concept off of the blast motion because we're going to bluff block the defensive end with the tight end coming across in the blast motion. He's going to leak out into the flat, and then the fullback that would normally be wrapping to the inside linebacker is going to protect the edge. The offensive line is still just blocking their gap away from the run like a normal gap scheme run without a puller. So here we're going to get a readout route from the wide receiver. Then the backside tight end is going to run kind of what amounts to a widen glance. He's going to get past the defensive line, widen out about to the numbers, and bend it back over the middle. And then we're going to get our fake from the running back and our tight end leaking out into the flat. So again, huge run tendency off the motion, wide receivers wide open at the second and third level. Now let me know in the comments down below what you think of blast motion. Do you think it's something you're going to add to your playbook? You know, if you are, what plays are you going to run? And if not, why not? As we saw on tape, it can be used on the play side and the back side of either zone or gap schemes. So I think it's got a place in almost any playbook. Now, if you want to keep up with what the fun bunch that they were called in Washington, the coaches that are calling the plays we saw in this video are up to, make sure you subscribe to my Substack right now. We're doing Third Down Thursday throughout the year. So every week I'm going to go back, and the previous week that I've got on All 22, I'm breaking down my favorite third down concepts, and I'm sharing them with you on Substack. And on that note, if you want to see another concept that is stealing easy yards from the defense, be sure to click on this next video.